Well, hello there. We're off to a place called Eling, which is a small enclave at the top of Southampton Water. It's a conservation area, and it's a really lovely little spot. It's sort of sandwiched between sort of the urban development and the countryside. Now we're going to cross an old causeway, which there's been a causeway over this creek for well over 1,000 years, and this is the mill pond we're looking at, because there's a working tidal mill, which is quite a rare thing in this country. Now that's a view from the air. You can see the causeway across it, and there's a little creek which almost dries out when the tide is out, but the tide is coming in at the moment, and the boats are floating, and it's a really nice little area. And the mill now is owned and managed by the New Forest District Council. It used to be the property of Winchester College. They owned quite a lot of mills, and they still own a lot of land in Hampshire. Now it's a lovely day. I've picked a decent day to come out, and considering that there's a lot of urban development all the way around the Eling Creek, it's still a lovely area. Now this first building we're coming to, it's used by the Eling Sailing Club, and it's a very old building. I think these buildings were built in the 17th century. There's been several mills on this site, but this was the last one to be built in the 17th century. You can see there's the name of Eling Sailing Club over that lovely brick wall. Now the second building is the Eling Tide Mill, and of course there's a toll bridge here. A car charges £1 to cross the toll bridge, and this is what it looks like inside the working mill. Now the Eling Sailing Club, their boats are all moored along the quay, and some of them are brought out onto to the edge of the road there. Now all these cottages that overlook the Eling Creek are quite new, and they've been very sympathetically designed. And there's the Anchor Pub, which used to be one of my favourite haunts when I was younger. Now we're going to leave the creek itself, and we're going to go up Eling Hill and have a look at one of the oldest churches in the country. This is St Mary's, and it's been a Saxon and Norman church. It was obviously heavily restored, like a lot of churches in this country, by the Victorians, but there are still many features within the church which show its age. Now opposite the church you've got some lovely little cottages. You can see why it is a conservation area. It certainly deserves it. Now we're going to go round the back of the church, and we're going to look at the graveyard. It's believed that there are over 30,000 graves in this churchyard. You can understand the church, this is over 1,000 years. There's been a lot of burials. And I believe we're going to look for a mound around the back of the church, and I've been told that during the plagues the dead were brought over from Southampton and buried in a mass grave. Whether that's true or not, I think it's quite possible, but there is a mound, and it's the time of year when the vegetation's been cleared back a bit, and we might even see that mound. Now I have found it very difficult to read any of the inscriptions on the tombstones. It's probably air pollution and age has eroded them. Now there is what I think is a mound, and it's covered in snowdrops. It would be interesting to think that there were mass graves beneath that mound, and now there's snowdrops. Anyway, the back of the church leads down to Southampton Water, and you can see the docks of Southampton in the distance. Now I'm going to leave you with some photographs from inside the church. That's the Saxon Arch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please click a like and maybe subscribe. Goodbye for now.